on?
I can see. Hello, Miss Lisen.
Hi. So nice to see you again. Oh my God.
We had already like an amazing chat at behind the Zoom curtains. And now this is like the second, or like the I don't know, like I don't know how it is in English, het vervolg, the sequel of the conversation behind the curtains. So I'm very excited about it.
Me too, because we just wanted to chat 2 minutes before we go streaming, and then went 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because we had so much questions, awareness, and looking at things. And this is what I love, having this conscious awareness. It's not about finding the right thing, but really exploring things. And we seem to do that really well when we get into contact with each other, and I love it.
Yes, me too. And it's like one of the things, because you talk a lot about like leadership in your Zooms and in your classes, and now also with the coming Conscious Horse, Conscious Rider class in Spain. And having this conversation right before with you, and then even like looking at my life in the past year, it's like asking questions is about being a true leader in your life.
Yes.
For me, it has been like a huge adventure and step up to not make anybody else the source anymore. Not even like all the amazing stuff that we learn in Access Consciousness, but like really start to be your own source for knowing, and be willing to stay in the question, even if the whole world is against you and you doubt yourself and you feel like you're being pulled back into this world, like the Matrix, and like, no, I keep being in the question. I keep follow the whispers. And this is like part of, I think, that's was like the amazing realization that I have. Like, it's sort of like an acknowledgement of, I think I'm actually starting to become the leader of my own life. Like, finally.
I love it. It is, I think, for a lot of people, very uncomfortable to really stand there on both of their feet and trust yourself and trust your own knowing. I think it's so much easier just to go with somebody else's knowing and making that real and right. But one thing I must say from Access that I kept on hearing also from Gary Douglas is being the question. Always ask questions. Also, what I say, like, he basically challenged us to not believe what he says, but also like, you'll get awareness from what Dane, Gary, and everybody else says. But he also sometimes challenged and like, do you believe what I said now? And he's like, I'm like, fuck, is he just saying that so we get caught up in it? Or it was he's done it a couple of times. He doesn't do it very often, where he really challenges us to be in a question what he just said. And I was like, that is different. And I love it, because we get amazing tools, and it is about you choosing your life, choosing how you'd like to live it, what you'd like to create, and not having these like safety blankets.
Yeah, my God, I've done that my whole life.
I get it. And we all like, I mean, it's how easy it is to doubt something. Like, if you have an awareness, it's the next step is usually doubting it, instead of like, oh, wow, what if it's like this for me at this moment? It's like, also for me today, I had a conversation today with a person, and I said, whatever awareness you have is for you. Whatever awareness I have is for me. So I don't try to use my awareness to put on you, even if I have an awareness about you, because my awareness is from my space and my energy where I am today. Doesn't mean it's from my perspective. So it might be correct. It might be something. If that person would ask me, fine, maybe I would share it, but not from, this is the awareness. No, this is the energy I'm getting today, but it changes maybe tomorrow. And I so want people to get what they know is today. It's not like a new law or a new rightness. It's like, we need to follow the steps we're getting as well, and willing to also do a misstep. Like, I've seen so many missteps I've done, like missteps that have created awareness that I would never have gotten if I've chosen it the right way. And I'm like, there is no right and wrong way, but you know what I mean? I was like, where I see like, shit, this is going not in the right direction. I was like, oh, wow, without this step, I would not have chosen that, that, and that. And I see that so many times where I'm like, I love my missteps. I'm not going to ask for a lot of more, but I'm definitely not going to judge it as I did before.
Wow, there's something that comes to mind with this as well, is like you mentioned the word energy that pulled my attention. It's like, as I've doubted myself for such a long time as somebody who is like supposedly an expert in consciousness, because this is like my business. I facilitate consciousness, I facilitate empowerment, self-development. I love using the tools of access consciousness and the energy therapy of access consciousness. And for like a very long time, and it's only like more and more, definitely like this year, where I start to trust, not based on the words that I use, but now I'm starting to trust the energy that I am. And that is, I think that's like a very, very different from like a lot of supposedly leaders. What I write, like also like when I am like, I'm not like inclined to like follow people anymore as I used to be. It needs to be like a clear, energetic yes, because like how much we have learned to like speak from the head. And when somebody is like the open space, the spacious energy, even I would even say like it still matters what you say, but like less, because like you're facilitating also with the energy, and that is, I find for myself, such a beautiful gift in conversations, that there's like this energetic expansion where the words tend to lose their grip, even if they're not like even real for you or even for the person who's speaking it.
But when you say that, for me, what it translates in me is also a person that doesn't have so much judgments. For me, the person is spacious,
Wow.
so no matter how many words they use, the words don't have this attached significant. They like some words, if I have a judgment with what I'm saying, I want my judgment to stick on you. No
I
matter
love that. That's true.
my judgment will first have a validation if it kind of sticks with you and with me, and it has this connection. Is like sharing energy between us two. So if I say something, this is blah, 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 and it's a judgment about something now, and we both agree,
Yeah.
we have a connection that creates an energy for the judgment. So I want my judgments to be validated from you or energized by you. This is not conscious.
Yeah.
And when people have less judgments, we could talk about whatever, we could talk about the same topic. I can have an opinion, but if I don't have the judgment behind it, it's just a conversation about it goes somewhere. And I see that
It's
also,
open.
it's more open. It doesn't need to stick as much. I mean, we're all not totally free from judgments, and I'm that's one of my targets. I would like, I'm aiming to be that's one, like if I would, my aim, one of them is judgment free, to become judgment free. If that happens or not, it's important. The road towards it, it becomes so fascinating to get aware. What does judgment create? If I have my right, like whatever judgment I have. And it's interesting because I think we often do not get aware when we have a judgment sometimes, and we stick to it and we feed it. And also when we facilitate, it's also different, the people that facilitate from space and energy that you talked about, and people that facilitate also from space, but behind there might be more judgment that they're still working on, or they just have more or less. And I don't want to now, again, categorize them, but there is a different space, and you'll feel it also. Sometimes you'll just perceive or feel more lightness, or it doesn't change you, it just gives you an awareness, or like gets even lighter in your system.
Wow. And even, yeah, wow. And even like if you, that's like, I'm really excited about that. It's becoming like so present and judgment free, that you can like at any given time in any conversation or any situation, that you're like, you're so aware of all of it. You're like aware of the puppet strings, you're aware of the judgments, you're aware of this and that, and that you never have to like stick yourself into it.
No.
With anything, and that you always have that you always have like choice no matter what. Because for me, like people always has been like a very tricky area because I wasn't present and there was a lot of self-judgments.
Yeah, and that becomes tough to also be present with it. But also when you're present with people, you can sometimes also perceive and notice they have so much going on. So even what they're talking about, like I say one sentence and there is like 1,000 other things attached to the sentence. And you can perceive all of that at some point. At the same time, you're like, does she mean this or that? Like what, like, and this is like an energy most people will perceive. So this is what I love working with leadership, because for me is basically also being aware of the total. That is also whatever you perceive is not about I need to translate and understand it, but there is some information with it. And you'll notice some people are more, there's just more stuff going on in their world, and some people are very synced with what they say. And for me, that's not like a better or worse person. It's just like, oh, if I'm willing to receive whatever is going on, it's so much easier to have a conversation, so much easier to work with each other. And yeah, some things are easier, lighter, but it's also like, why, if I don't have so many judgments, it's just what they are. I don't even have to, ooh, this person has a lot of issues going on or problems or points of views. It's just like, it's just how they are at the moment.
And that's what you also see in nature, that the leader of the pack is the one with the biggest space, zone of awareness, and like everybody is included with everything without any judgment.
Yes. And then it depends on what kind of pack we're talking about, because they can be really tough. You're weak, bye-bye. You're like,
Right, but this is, I reckon like this is also part of like the leader, because I have been challenged like my whole life, and I think I'm more likely that I've been like challenging myself to not be the leader, but like sort of like being really angry about it that I'm not being a leader. And I notice the more I step into being a leader, how much I perceive how arrogant this comes across, or that you're like you're very different, like you're very different, you're fast, you don't like get caught up into stuff as you're used to anymore. And I can feel it's like unspoken, but you can like feel that it sometimes rubs the wrong way, because you're like aware of a lot of stuff and you include it all, but you still choose to go your own merry way. You don't need to be distracted anymore. Everybody can do what they want, and then you still go for the bigger vision that you have, which is what you see. That's what I love also in nature. You can like really see that natural leadership.
Yeah. And they're also clear what's going on in nature, and we're not always clear what's going on with us. So I think a lot of confusion is also how we are being as people and what agendas we have. Nature is very clear on their agendas, very clear. They're not even hidden. They're very clear agendas. They're straightforward. We have so much hidden agendas that confuses people a lot. Our communication is super unclear because we don't even learn how to deal with people with clear communication. And I think a lot of those things mess people up more than we need to as well. And for me, exploring this topic with leadership has been fascinating, because there's so many descriptions about leadership. There's also very different implications, how you imply it also in a workspace or with different people. And I love having conversations about this, because it's there's a lot of people that are very aware of what they need to challenge with themselves being a leader and what it requires with people. And there's other people that like having a definition on it and seeing if they reach that. And for me, this is where questions is so vital, because if you're a leader, you don't need to know it all. You don't need to understand it all, but you have to be willing to be open for things, and you have to be willing to ask people, receive them, and the judgment part, really getting rid of it, because it does not help anybody.
Wow. So how is that like really applying to like the conscious horse, conscious rider class, because it is like it's I can like energetically, I'm like, yes, this is like the perfect class for this. And if
Yeah.
you could like explain this, like how can you access all of this, what you just explained, through this class, through the horses, through the tools.
So this is the area I love. So if conscious horse, conscious rider can be so different for every facilitator. And for me, I have noticed I really enjoy seeing the energy, what a horse really can contribute to us being a leader, because they really want you to be present. They really want you to choose. And what we often already there, we have an issue. And be clear with your choice. So we often do people, we're in a group, no? And we say, oh, I want to choose this. And then like, is this okay for everybody else? We do that in a split second. We check if it's okay kind of thing. A horse was like, are you sticking with what you're choosing, or what is going on here? Like, it's for them confusing. And we do exercises to look at that energy, and we talk about it. So we do exercises and we extrapolate it on it, and then we move forward with that. And it depends on every group, but leadership is definitely a big topic. Business and money is usually also a big topic. And it's so funny because there's no topic that I haven't seen showing up with conscious horse, conscious ride, or for me with horses and for me with animals. That's one thing I must say is really a lot of fun. But I do put it out there a lot, because I know when you're willing to be the leader of your life and you're seeing that in action with an animal that will interact with you according to when you step into being it, or you're pretending, hoping that you're it, or you're like, am I doing it right now? Am I doing it right now? Oh. And we're here in this part of our body. And I just ask question to shift that sometimes. And then you're like, oh, it's this. Oh, this is how it is when I'm connected. And I was like, and then the horse was just like, hello. And this is the fun part. It's really, it's a lot of joy. And we laugh a lot, because most horses get really funny in the space that we create. They also start showing up different, but they'll poke us. They'll create scenarios where we see like we're doubting, and they're like, doubting, do not get up on me if you're doubting. Like, it's really funny how they also express more in these classes. And I love it, but it becomes clear if you're in doubt. It becomes clear if you're just judge. For me, most people aren't really judging in the class so much, but they might be in their head too much. So they have points of views about if they're wrong or if they're doing it right, or, oh, it's a scary horse. And then we have to go through that. And that's where I see when you step into being you and leading yourself with facilitation for me and the horse, we get step by step in movement towards you knowing what that is for you. Because I don't know what it means for you, but we have a space and energy where we explore that together. And for me, my challenge, not having anything in my head. And I know when I'm in my head, and the horses show me that so clearly. So I have to expand, and we're going to do all these exercises together, expand and have that space. This is the beauty. You need to exercise having space. And when you see that, oh, now I'm contracting, you're like, oh, this is how it is. Okay, then let's change it. And then it becomes this playful, it's a playground where you practice the tools that I've learned for years, right? And then what does it mean to be in a question? Oh, I do want the answer, but that didn't help. No, exactly, because being the question creates here a space, and that's where you can explore it. So this is for me, it's for me like having the matrix or whatever, totally alive. And you get to start playing with all the energies, what you know. And then I'll put in some new aspects or a new question, new energy. And it's just playfulness. So we skip all the parts of doing an exercise right. I had that once with a client and I loved it. It was in Spain too. And she's like, we're doing an exercise. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it. I was like, okay. And then she's like, oh, I don't want to do it because I don't know if I'm going to do it right. And I was like, oh, good point. And people are very honest usually in the seminars, what I'm really happy about. And you don't have to. It's all, for me, it's all up to you when you want to do the step. I'll be there. We'll all support it. We're all going to be there supporting each other, both nature, animals, also us participants, and me too, because it's all about your steps. It can look small steps, but they can change a whole world for somebody. And this is where I have no result in mind. I have only movement in a direction, and then it becomes your choice where it goes, because it looks maybe better that with somebody, but it doesn't mean if you went there that would be the same thing or good for you even, or create that change. So it is a seminar with total movement of consciousness, so you become more of you, and also getting to be aware when you choose less, when you judge, when you doubt. That's very big for most people. And then what it means to really be in the question, and then again, choice. And that's the one that is yummy, yummy. It's like, that's eating like a cake when we're in choice. Like, it's really fun. So I love playing with it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I'm speechless. Looking forward to this. Wow.
Me too. Me too. And I know some of the horses we're going to play with. And every time, it's so funny. No, there's some new ones too. But it's interesting. Every time I show up, and I've been to Spain to this place because my own horse now, well, she's very close. She's just moved to a new place, but she's in this region. And I've been there for years. I've had lots of seminar there. So they're used to the energy. Some of the horses really are very used to the energy. But every time I meet them, they're like new. And I was like, how's this horse? I'm like, I don't know. But then again, I see, I don't come with the energy. I know you, and I've already defined that you're really great for this or this exercise. And this is basically my whole thing is I show up and meet the horses the day before, and I don't treat them different, the ones in Spain that I know. And I noticed that after a while, like, oh, I don't really have attachment in how they are. They just are. And some of them don't have problems because we have been showing up so often. And that's why we're going to meet different horses, so we get different energies. Because just because you're comfortable with one energy, I want you to do the same with an energy that might not be so comfortable. That will be where you get to know yourself too. So we're going to meet different
Get the best out of it.
And some horses will need more of you, and some horses will facilitate us more. There's always facilitation. It's like they're teachers no matter what, but there's some that are asking for it. I already started working on some before. Last time I was there a couple of weeks ago, because Raul, the horse guys, showed me a horse. What was his name? I don't remember his. Oh, Raul never really said the name, I think. And he said,
I saw that one. It was the beige horse.
Yes, you said, this horse needs your class, you said to me. And I was like, oh my God, Raul. And this is a horse guy in Spain. He doesn't really know exactly what we're doing. He does see the change. He does see he goes a lot on energy himself too. But he's like, this horse needs Lisen's class, he says to me in Spanish. And I was like, you're correct. Let's start. Both me and Yosara started working with him. And it's just like, just going for where he is. But it was beautiful to see I was surprised, the shift and change in him after just a couple 15 minutes working with him. I was like, and this is what I want to show everybody. That's why it's good to have horses that are not comfortable with what we're doing or have a problem or an issue. Like this one was abused for sure. And then we get to contribute to the horse, and you get to see what you can do. And that's for me also super important, because you have the tools to, from that class, you can work with horses, with animals, and with people.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, and I'm even like working with people through the horses and animals. That's yeah. I'm so excited about this. It's in a couple of weeks. Also, like the property is like really contributing to this class, to you getting more conscious and all of that, like yummy, expanding chisel.
Nature's beautiful.
And fuck, I cannot wait. Like it's like literally like being massaged from the inside out on a molecular level. It's so when is the class?
On the 23rd to the 25th of June, and there's still 1 or 2 rooms left in the hotel if you want to stay in the hotel. It's a small, beautiful hotel out in nature. There's other places too in the area. But if you have any questions, just let me know. Or Evie also knows a lot about the place. I talked to them today, so I got a little bit of updates, and they're so excited having us. And they know the guys that have been there before are going to take care of us, and they're prepared for us as well. So, and also you can come spontaneously. You don't need to have been to any other class, not even an Access Consciousness class. If you're curious about changing anything in your life or becoming more of you and being clear what it means to be your leader of your life, or just being you, you're welcome. So I've had people jump on the last minute and have people jumping on weeks before because they're like, I can't wait. I'm like, no, I can't wait either. So yeah.
I actually have another question with regards to, were you doing like an introduction before the Conscious Horse, Conscious Rider class, or has that changed?
I was
And
gonna
can people like join online?
I was gonna do an introduction for you guys physically when I'm there in the evening before, just we might do something online. I haven't checked on that if we should do something there. It's popping up some things. I'm like, we might have to chat, even because today is like, should I do that? I'm in Spain. I should do something with this energy that is there. But the evening before, I have asked if you guys are around. I'd like to meet up in the evening just to get some practical stuff, but also some things that we look at just starting off class in the evening. I was also looking at having Monday something extra, but it seems to be, I think this is all going to play out. I know things are going to change when we're there too. I also have some ideas with symphony sessions together. Like we're going to do things.
Oh.
So I was like, it is less formal structure. We're going to have a class. We're going to work with horses. We're going to have time to swim and go horseback riding. If you'd like to add 1 or 2 days, either before or after, just to enjoy. It's really delicious to be there. So that's one thing. I just changed my flight back, so I'm staying longer. I'm like, no, I'm not going home yet. So I'm like, if you want to go horseback riding to the class at some point, you can come by too. Like it's like, I'm just going to enjoy my life. And this place has that gift to me in my body a lot. So yeah, I often pop by there when I need a little bit of energy booster or a soul booster or something like that. So it's
Oh,
a beautiful
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you for this.
So
Exciting. Come on. Exciting. How exciting it is to be excited about leadership.
oh, I love it. I love it. And I'm also going to help you guys. We're going to go out on horseback riding tours. You don't have to, but I know that everybody can go horseback riding there, even if you've never ever sat on a horse before. And there will be a little bit of introduction. I might be also joining the group, depending how many we are. Also to help you guys in that energy, because there's something that happens when you also connect with a horse riding. And this doesn't mean we're galloping or going quick or anything. It should just be a walk and receiving everything from nature and being connected to a different being. So there's I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that we might be doing, and it depends on the group too. But there's possibility of horseback riding a lot throughout the time there as well. And then you have all nature, and there's a swimming pool at the hotel. You're gonna like love it when you show up there. So that's why I'm like inviting people to such a special place. So I'm really happy, and we're meeting very soon.
It is. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So thank you everybody to listening. And if you ever want to join, let me know, or hopefully we'll see you in Spain as well, because that's
yeah, I can like not recommend it enough as well.
I know.
It's like the total package.
The funny part is a lot of people that come there once, they come there twice and 3 times, and some really want to.
It'll be my third time now.
It's your third time. Oh my God, you're one on the top list now.
It's still like not enough.
I know. But I'm also looking how to create different things there, also from accommodation and living there longer time, because during the autumn and spring, there's quite a bit of places where it's really, really comfortable living there, where I'm like, oh, these are hidden gems that nobody knows about. And I was like, okay, I need to change this. So I have lots of ideas for this place or this area, because it's really beautiful. And I found wells where we can pick up our spring water. So we really fresh water from the mountains. I'm like, yay! It's evolving again.
I can feel this in my body. Oh. Oh,
Oh my God, yes. And it's good. It's going to be nice to be there again and all the people that know us and all that. So yeah, most people know when I bring a group, it's going to be happening really great stuff and they love it. They love the energy we're being and they do acknowledge and see that we're different and they
yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
that too.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. It's very gifting and receiving for everybody, which is very beautiful, I think.
Yeah. So thank you, Ivy. Thank you for this amazing conversation. And I'm also looking forward to more of them because I think there's a lot more to explore too and other topics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.